Hello, everyone. Welcome to New Dice Please, bite-sized Blood Bowl podcast brought to you by the people at Blood Bowl Live. Here for our fifth and final, very special episode covering our trip down to Yeovil for Cake or Death. My name is Chris. Joining me, Mr. Scott Bryant. Scott, what's your favourite thing?
Hello, Chris. My favourite thing, Blood Bowl.
Straight down the middle. Well done. And Tom Feeks, what's your favourite thing?
God, Chris, come on. You know we're recording another pod after this, and you've still got to think of another one. If we're already at favourite thing,
I've got it. I've got it down here.
Can't beat say Maria Sharapova.
No, it's a reminder to go and listen back to the rest of them. Opening a new pack of dice in the first roll.
Both very Blood Bowl related, the two of you.
I'm trying to bring it slightly back round to topic.
I didn't actually ask Tom Hovell this one. There was a different one, but I'm saving that for the next recording that we're going to do. My favourite thing, that's tricky. I think it is probably a bag of Haribo when I'm absolutely starving.
Wow, there's going to be 3 more people divorced in the UK pretty much sooner, isn't it?
None of them
listen to this.
They don't listen.
Oh, actually, you know what? My non-blood related favourite thing: butter on toast, salted butter on toast. I mean, just something about it.
Just butter, actually. Like, there's nothing that butter doesn't make better.
No, there isn't.
Anyway, enough about butter. No, this is our final episode of our diaries, our recordings from the massive amounts of content that we recorded going down to Cake or Death. This one, I mean, as you'll know if you've listened to episode 4, which covers me dropping off Scott and Tom back at their houses, you'll know that there's nothing left for episode 5. So episode 5 is all of the bits that we recorded that weren't good enough to make it in the previous 4, and we've put into this one. And there is one small caveat that I want to make, and the great thing about making this caveat is Tom Feeks wasn't there for these recordings, so he'll have no idea, but he might get what I'm referencing. There's a bit where we're in the car and Scott asks me what my favorite soap opera is, and then we go on to have a conversation about getting critically ill. And I just want to make the point that we're not making light of becoming critically ill. It's the coping mechanism that me and Tom Feeks have when we're going through medical tests. It's all fine. Please don't get ill. We're not making light of being ill. I just thought I'd put that caveat in before we jump to it. Scott, any caveats you feel you need to make before we go to this bit?
No, I'm sure that Tom was there. Really, we all know that. But
he was there actually.
He was there
in one part.
You know,
so yeah.
Yes,
Again, Feeks has no idea because he's not seen it yet.
It is bad that I'm now looking forward to listening to a pod that I'm on.
The only other caveat I can think of is please don't worry if you're next to me in the urinal. I will not take my phone out. Anyway, here is episode 5. Here is episode 5. Here are all of the bits that didn't quite make the cut of the other parts. Enjoy. Stop it recording. I guess I'll have to do one soap. I haven't gone past it, have I? Oh God, I've gone past it. How did I do that? Oh, this is a nightmare road to try and... Went straight past his house. Unbelievable. I have never been in this part of Woodbridge before. Well, at least now we've got an outtakes reel because I can't, after going on about safety, I can't then stop the recording while I'm driving, so I'd have to pull over. But it's more important I actually get to Scott's. How did I miss it? Scott's this one. Here we go. Right. Okay. I did all the important bits, so this just goes in the outtakes reel, if an outtakes reel exists. that my favourite film? It's up there.
We haven't actually. We had that question. What's your
Favourite
favourite
film?
film? No,
I don't think
you've done it.
I don't think I have done what's your favourite.
Okay.
No. I think I have done what's your favourite film. I'm sure I have
think you
done
have.
it. Yeah.
What's your favourite soap opera, Chris?
None. That's tricky, isn't it? That's a bit like saying what illness would I most like to get.
What illness would you most like to get, Chris?
I guess norovirus would help me lose some weight.
No, I'd like gout. It's a disease.
The disease of the wealthy.
At least I'd go out well.
I've had me and Tom Feeks have had really morbid conversations where we've been having one or the other hospital appointment, and it's been along the lines of, actually, if I just got a little bit critically ill, I could pay the mortgage. Just critically ill enough that I would survive, and I could pay the mortgage, and then, but I'd be all right. Just a little bit.
Happy
Tom, you're in insurance. What's the minimum we could do to get our mortgage paid off?
Yeah. What's the minimum? Just a little bit ill.
Do you want to do a disclaimer about financial advice?
Are we recording now?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Don't try and get ill, children.
And don't take financial advice from any member of Andy Doss, please.
I have financial advice qualifications. I can, if I can't because I'm not licensed or anything like that, but I'm qualified to give mortgage and protection advice. I'm not going to do it.
In my mind, I'm qualified to fly a plane.
Self-diagnosed, though.
Yeah. In my mind, I'm not a doctor, but I'll have a look. So yeah.
So I need to call you out on this.
Me or both of us?
Well, I think it's a combined effort because you all seem to think this was a good idea on the episode that I wasn't there. First goal wins 11s. What a stupid idea. You guys all gave that so much time and discussion about how it could be quite interesting and good. What a rubbish idea first goal 11s would be.
Why not?
Because if you're elves or rats, that's so easy and you're almost guaranteed the win. Who would ever enter a tournament as dwarves with first goal wins? You would never do it because you're not gonna and as soon as you win the kick, if you win the kick, you've basically won the game. 9 out of 10 times you win the game if you win the kick.
But you could argue that if you had an orc team, or let's say a lizard team,
right,
and you received the kick, suddenly you've got a super cage.
Yeah, you're going to be.
But why? But you can score in 2 turns so easily with lizards.
So it's not just a
so
only Skaven thing then.
Well,
it could be anybody.
No, because it's not going to be dwarves, is it?
Why not? They could do a super dwarf cage and just walk down the pitch.
It's just the idea of first goal wins is so beneficial to all the teams that can score super quickly and so detrimental to any slow team.
Not really. Like you say, if in our game, I scored first in our game and I got the ball. I was particularly slow. I didn't.
Might not to score turn 8, but
turn 8.
You scored on turn 8.
Yeah.
Right.
I could have scored.
So what's the difference between a 1-0 win after turn 16 versus a 1-0 win after turn 2?
Because a 1-0 win after 16 turns suggests that there's some element of back and forth and level play. If you were if you think of any game where you've played someone who's playing a very quick team and you go 1-0 down after 2 turns but you win 2-1.
Yeah, but that's because sometimes people are thinking, oh, well, I've still got another 16 turns to come back. This is starting to speed up and go, right, this is do or die. And that can then change your whole dynamic on how you position your pieces, how you're going to play.
It baffles me that you both think this is such a good idea.
Think about this though. We're going to cake or death.
Yeah.
4 games of 4 full 16-turn games.
Yeah.
In one day.
Starts at 9 o'clock.
Yeah. So that's 9 hours of play.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's 4 games. You could have a tournament one day. You could have 8 games. Boom. You could have 10 games.
Well, no.
You could have 4 games and go to the pub.
No, it would be a nightmare because your dwarves, your elves, and your Skaven are scoring after 2 minutes.
Okay.
right?
You say that.
They're scoring, or someone's going to get a one-turn. A throw teammate one-turn is scoring immediately, and that game is over.
Yeah.
The dwarfs
But that's
versus
the-
dwarfs over on table 16 are going to be there for 5 hours because they're never going to score. So you're not going to get the games in because you can't draw the
Then-
next round. So then that
Chris,
poor
then
Skaven and
hang
elf
on.
coach is going to sat there waiting.
Then there's an
This is
opportunity.
such a bad idea.
But
There
you're
isn't-
saying that the throw teammate one is a dead cert. It's not a dead cert because you're having to use dice. So you're having that randomness come into play.
So this is up for you now, Chris, to think of a mechanic in terms of how you'd run a tournament to deal with all this.
No, you just wouldn't do it. First goal wins tournament is such a bad
This is a
idea.
very negative mindset I'm seeing
so,
here,
so
Chris.
let's take your idea of a one-turn touchdown with your lizards, okay? And you're
I
playing.
know one turn is difficult with this. It's two
okay.
turn, fine.
Okay, a one-turn touchdown with elves then.
Yeah, fine.
Okay. It would. What happens? You're going to have to roll some dice, aren't you, to dodge out?
Yeah.
Whereas if you get 2 ones in a row, so that player who's tried to dodge out is now in the open field with no support and the ball's gone loose.
Right.
So now, say you're playing against orcs, they come and pick it up. Now what are you going to do?
Right. So you're just discussing the pros and cons of Blood Bowl in general, Tom. That's just Blood Bowl. That's just the game of Blood Bowl.
No,
Any turn
but
in
the
any
fact-
game of
the
Blood
fact is
Bowl
people
is that.
won't-
But if
you
you
won't risk a one-turn touchdown on the first go, because in normal Blood Bowl rules, you'll just go, well, I've got 16 turns to make it back.
But then-
you're basically condensing it down to the last 3.
No, you're condensing Blood Bowl down to
Yeah.
the luck of the first couple of turns
100%.
because you. Well, that's bullshit because you've got no time to allow things to level out.
Exactly,
Like
exactly.
the less
So
turns,
that-
the less
that-
turns
so
you
that
have within the game.
evens the
No,
play-
no, shut up, Tom. Shut up.
So we're back on. Chris, what's your favourite thing to do at the beach?
What's my favourite thing to do at the beach?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a stereotypical Labrador boyfriend. I could just quite like digging holes.
Yeah.
It's something really satisfying. Just digging a hole,
I'm
right?
I'm happy to dig a hole in a trench.
Yeah.
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 Tom, what's your favourite thing to do at the beach?
Just go for a really long walk.
Have you seen if there's a video of a guy who is a guy on the beach with his friends? There's 2 or 3 of them. And they dig this massive hole in the beach, like huge, like probably like up to your kind of chest height hole. Just because there's 3 bored guys on the beach, so they dig a hole, and then the next day. What follows this video is immediately a local news article where they're like, no one knows where this hole came from. How did this hole mysteriously appear in the beach?
I think that's the challenge for. Actually, Simon, if you're listening on Cake or Death, I think you need to. Oh, sorry, that's correct. I think you need to finish up, close the tournament because it's still saying, oh, he has done that. Looks like it's now. Yeah, it's now closed.
Because I think you have to close it too. I'm guessing I'm guessing today will be admin. It'll be NAF updates and all of that.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
So anyway.
Round one.
Can I say what the hell I like to do at the beach, or is it just all about?
Oh yeah, what do you want to do at the beach?
Thanks. I do like digging holes.
Yeah.
I have to say, but I do still like that something about having it sitting on the beach with an ice cream, with a flake.
So this sounds like I'm the beach Labrador.
Yeah.
Tom, if you're going walks up and down the beach, that's quite Labrador.
Yeah. And eating, it's very Labrador.
Yeah.
We're all
And
Labradors.
well, I don't know if you're. What was your?
I like digging a trench.
Yeah.
But I've come to that realisation that no matter how much I try to fill up my castle moat with seawater, it's not going to fill.
Right.
I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
That's some deep
Anyway.
kind of stuff there.
Okay.
So anyway,
Round 1.
what is so special for you about Fleet?
What is so special for me about
Apart from
Fleet
the
Services?
Scott Mills Bridge.
It's the Scott Mills Bridge.
It's where everyone knows his name.
It's the general ambience.
Okay.
I like the car park.
Okay.
It looks quite nice from the outside. It's quite visually pleasing.
Are there different shops depending on south or north?
No, exactly the same.
Okay.
God damn it.
What's your favourite services?
Leigh de la Mare?
No, I don't like that. The only one on the M4 I don't mind is Reading, but apart from that, they're all
Chiefly? What about Chiefly?
Cheaply, yeah, not a big fan. No.
I'm a big advocate for the Cambridge one with the big kind of yellow X you see as you're heading past it.
It's not too bad.
Tom, favourite services?
There is one, I'm just going to get the name of it because it is a very, very good one. It's Gloucester Services.
Oh, okay.
Which one's this? Strenchel? No.
It's basically got a farm shop built into it.
A farm shop?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's one service station of the year, 2 years in a row, I believe.
Only the best for in Peterstone Market.
Damn right.
Absolutely.
You know, when he's doing his outreach checks to
when-
Gloucester.
When you go, yeah.
Do you claim that on parliamentary expenses, Tom?
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
So if you want to write in and complain about the abuse, once again, of parliamentary expenses
Well, I
by
think-
our elected members,
Yeah, we're going to have to do an international travel to Wales. It's
Yeah.
always on my stop. Yeah.
Tom Hovell's tour of UK services has that kind of like youth hostels with Chris Eubank ring to it, doesn't it?
it does indeed. It does indeed. And we'll be checking in with Tom Feats hopefully later on, and see what his thoughts on the day are. I'm not going to do the Welsh accent there now. I'm going to
The
save
great
that
thing
for
is,
later.
What did we think of the Scott Mills Bridge?
Breathtaking. I think it's the 8th wonder of the world, really, isn't it?
Surely it's going to be a heritage site before too long. Got to be, right?
They're going to have National Trust knocking at their door.
Yeah, it's going to be that landmark. Our children's children will talk about that landmark.
We can say we were there.
We were there, Tom. We were there. Scott?
I'm just emotionally trying to take it all in.
Well, enough about the bridge. Round two.
You have it again. That's
Yeah,
the
I
key
would.
bit. So
Let's have it again.
Chris is tripping on energy drinks at the moment.
Pure, unadulterated Kiwi.
The Kiwi. That's what you should name the Bloody Ducks, Kiwi Crocs.
The Kiwi Ducks.
Kiwi Crocs.
Kiwi Crocs. Well, that's completely different branding, isn't it?
But then it just means you get to buy another t-shirt.
I need to buy new. I've got new logos. I need to buy new kit anyway. I'm thinking like a varsity jacket with the retro kind of webbed D on it. I think would be quite good. So
We are on the A14.
We are on the
We're on the
A14 now.
A14,
Welcome to the A14
heading into
place now.
Suffolk. Chris is feeling emotionally now safe.
Yeah,
He's in his safe
secure.
space. And we've got some toilet anecdotes coming up for you.
Yeah, I popped to the toilet at Starbucks. We just stopped in to do some tech things, and I went to the loo. Tech things with the smirking. I went to the loo.
The listeners don't know what you did.
What are you doing tech things in the loo?
Shut up. So we did.
on cameras of yours.
So two things. Firstly, I had to do like what I like to refer to as a Superman wee, right? Because the only so I'm sure you may have had this and you may have dealt with it differently to how I dealt with it, right? So you go in. The only available toilet to use is a cubicle. You go into the cubicle and the lock doesn't work, right? But you only need a wee. So I'm standing on one leg, and my other leg is pressed against the door so no one can open it, and then one hand is against the wall. So I'm like half running Superman pose while then having a wee, so I can keep my balance, but also stop someone coming in.
Why don't you just stand there with the door open? I mean, you're having a pee. It's just like having a
Well,
it's like
because
in
it
your
feels
rhino.
weird. It feels weird to be using a cubicle and then not close the door behind you, even if you're just having a wee. So I did a Superman wee. And the other thing was, I've noticed this a few times. You go into toilets and they're normally Armitage Shanks, aren't they?
Yeah.
And it says Armitage Shanks on it. My first Blood Bowl season 3 of the AGBBL, Dave Rue was in my group and he was playing a Nurgle team, and his Nurgle team were called the Armitage Shanks.
Yeah.
And there've been a couple of times where I've gone up to a urinal and I've gone to the toilet and then I've noticed the name Armitage Shanks, and I've thought to myself, oh, I should take a picture for Dave. And then I thought, probably shouldn't be getting out my camera phone in the urinal.
Yes, probably best.
Probably best not to do that. That gets
So
you on lists.
What you're saying is you and Dave Rue have an emotional connection.
Every time I'm having a wee in a urinal, I think of Dave Rue.
You do. Dave, I don't know if you want to be as proud of that as we are, or if you need, or if you need to speak to your solicitors first. I don't know.
I'm sorry, Dave. That's probably it. But the problem I've got is it would be careless of me to stop the recording at this point. So what I would do instead is a few lovely shout outs. A shout out to Simon and his family for putting on a great tournament. A shout out to everybody that I played over the course of the weekend. They were great opponents. A shout out to BB Nut and the other people from his league and his community. At lunchtime, we were talking to them about the fact that every now and again I'm in Bournemouth for work, and they were, very kindly invited me to their evening of games to maybe hopefully get a practice game in, or an exhibition game, if not just to kind of hang out with them, because I'm often at such a loose end. So such a welcoming group for someone in BB Nut who I've only spoken to once, through the podcast, and then met once in person. So incredibly welcoming of them. Shout out to Tom for putting in an incredible display with his Tomb Kings. He absolutely deserved it. Touchdowns and casualties, he did so well to get those tiebreakers where he needed them. So shout out to him as well. Depending on when this comes out, Carrot Crunch is on the 7th and 8th of June. Take a look for Carrot Crunch. Go have a look there. That is in Kesgrave, where we are. 2-day tournament. Have a look on Talk Fantasy Football for all of the details. ADBBL Season 9 starts at the end of June. So again, if you're watching this and you're local and you're thinking, I want to play in League, have a look at that one if you can get to it. And that is a good amount of shout-outs for me to gently pull into my drive where it all started. Thank you for Tom. Thank you to Scott. Thank you to Welsh Tom Feeks. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We've been New Dice Please, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching. That was episode 5. That is the last part of our Cake or Death Diaries. So much that we recorded going to this one. This episode probably didn't need to be made, but it would be weird doing 4 episodes in a week of 4 daily episodes and not doing the 5th. So we did a 5th. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next Thursday for a normal episode of New Dice Please. Thank you, Mr. Scott Bryant. Thank you, Mr. Tom Hovell. Thank you, Mr. Tom Feeks. Thank you, everybody, for... actually, no, I didn't need to do this because there's already an ending to this one. Yeah, so this just isn't making the cut.
It's just point.
And I'm still recording. This is actually just completely a complete waste of time that I could add in at the end.
Well, you've just said this whole episode was completely pointless. So
I may as well add this in at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Screw it.
Yeah, I'll do that. Okay. Job done.